I understand you're a member of the Divine Nine.
Yes, I am. The first.
The first?
The first.
And that would be?
Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Ah. Yeah. I'm a little bit familiar with that.
I think you are.
Yeah,
I heard a little bit about that.
I was raised under that roof with my dad.
Your dad's an Alpha, my fraternity brother. Fantastic.
Absolutely, absolutely. How do you see your Alpha community operating within your Inglewood community?
It's beautiful, man. Actually, you mentioned the Divine Nine. It's beautiful watching the matriculation of Divine Nine and all of the activities that go on. Our Parks and Rec director, community service director is Miss Sabrina Barnes. She's a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Our newest councilwoman, the first elected African-American councilwoman, Diane Falk, is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, which is our sister organization. So I have in my heart. We were founded in 1906. They were founded in 1908. Yeah. We were at Cornell. They were at Howard. So watching a lot of the legacy of that, whether directly in the sense of individuals who become members of Divine Nine, or indirectly, like my kids. I have 4 boys and 3 girls, and so watching them understand the essence of what it is to have leadership and to be responsible for your community and to serve is huge. It's huge.
Right.
So
we were always raised under the thought process of how can I help?
Absolutely.
How can I serve? And that I see that element in Inglewood.
Absolutely.
I see it going on right now. The local businesses, even the businesses we have here on the block, our conversation is how can we help each other make this a little better place? Yeah,
and to that point, much like, when I pledged way back in 1985 at Cal Poly Pomona, ISI. Shout out to my ISI brothers. I instantly understood what becoming a member of the fraternity was about, and although I chose in myself Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, others chose others, which was fine, but the core theme that runs through all of the Divine Nine is really that service atmosphere. W.E.B. Du Bois talked about the talented 10th, and the fact that the talented 10th have a responsibility to those other 90s to help pull them up. Well, I'm a first generation college graduate.
I see.
First one to own a business. First one to buy a house.
Wow.
First, employed my mother and my wife. Get on top of that.
Wow.
And when you have those kind of experiences, you want others, you want to pull them up from that. And that's what the Divine Nine really stands for. Alpha, of course, we love leading the way. We love being the first.
Oh, that's funny. I know Ryan's gonna love to hear this.
I love my Mega Psi Phi brothers.
Oh yeah, we have a lot. We have a real good population of Greeks that flow through here.
Yeah.
And
under normal circumstances, we're bantering with each other and talking crap
and that will be back.
Having a good stogie and enjoying each other's company is fantastic.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. And now, I know I see you come up here sometimes on the weekend. Yeah. And you're on your bike.
Yeah. I'm not
dressed like
this.
You have a nice car, very nice car, sir. But you choose to be on your bike. So biking is something that's a part of your life?
I love it. I love it, Jakeem. I think, it's changed things about me. When I was a kid, I rode my bike all the time. We used to ride from Nickerson Gardens out to Doc Wilder, all the way down Imperial to go to the beach and then ride back. And we do that on the weekends before cell phones. And all we had was street lights.
Right.
So when the street lights came on, you better have your butt at home. That was the cream.
That was our rule.
And so I got away from it and started my career and all the activities and raising a family. And then you kind of don't take care of yourself.
So
and I
busy.
think a lot of African Americans and brown and black folks find themselves in that situation. You don't eat well, you don't take care, and then I got that dreaded diagnosis from the doctor. You have high blood pressure, and part of that is with excessive weight gain and not eating well and all that. And so I couldn't. One of the things I tried to do was run. I was about 50 pounds heavier, and I tore up my knees. I couldn't get out. I still had to provide for my family.
Right.
And then I saw my old bike sitting in there, my old mountain bike, and I said, well, let me just ride back to work. Let me just ride. And work is about 2 miles away. And that used to be horrible. It was a labor, but I really, doctor told me I need to lose weight if I ever was gonna get off that pill. And I was committed to doing that. And now, you know, I ride 100 miles.
I was wondering, how far you might travel in a typical ride.
Typical rides we do anywhere from, nowadays I do about 30 to 40 miles.
Wow.
You know, that's typical. It'll take us, we'll ride from locally with my buddy in LA or some of the cycling groups, and we'll go from here, we'll go up to PV, we'll sometimes do PV, or we'll go from here down to Pepperdine University and do some of those hills and come back. So yeah, those are typical rides for us, and I got some friends out in San Dimas, and we'll ride out that way and ride back. Yeah, it's amazing how far, I've been riding only about 3.5 years.
Wow, I see it's becoming very popular in our community.
Absolutely.
A lot of brothers who come through here have their bikes. They talk about that they're going on a 40-mile ride. They come here on Sunday mornings and they've already gotten out and gotten a couple hours in on the cycles.
See, not everybody can have your DNA structure.
Oh, brother.
Not
it's
everybody
a blessing
can,
and a curse.
I come in, I said, that Jakeem boy, he can eat. He come in, eat, then he leave eating.
No, don't tell my secrets, man.
I'm trying to figure out where it goes, man.
I stay moving all the time. I stay moving all the time. But it's funny because I was looking at bikes this past weekend. Christmas coming up, I was thinking about bike gifts, and I want to get one for myself. My kids are into riding their bikes, and they have nice bikes now. And brother, they're not cheap.
No.
A good bike. I mean, what for a person who was interested, because especially during COVID, we all need to find new ways to maintain our fitness.
Absolutely.
And a person who's a beginner, what should their expectation be, or where should they look?
Well, let me start by quickly saying, start.
Do something.
So many of us have those old rickety bikes that are sitting in the garage, that have been hanging up, or sitting, in the backyard. Start with what you have.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of two things that go on. When I first started riding back, I used a mountain bike, already a whole Kona. I had it, I just tuned it up, and I rode my Kona, right?
Okay.
And that didn't really cost me anything because I already had it.
Right.
So if you already have a bike, start riding the bike you have. And what that'll do is two things. Number one, you'll appreciate a newer bike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Because you'll know what you've
But
come up.
more importantly, there are far too many bikes that hang up in garages and people don't ride them because they really didn't fall in love with riding the bike. They just did it like you were talking about for your kids, you did, and it kind of comes and goes. So I never recommend that individuals are going to spend a whole lot of money on a bike just to have it sit in the garage.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to do that, you're going to get a really high-end bike. And I'm that guy, I'll swoop up in behind and I'll take it off of you for about a third of the price. How about that?
Right.
But just to answer your question, when you're starting out, I think a good range for a bike that you should be looking for just to start out is $800 to $1,200.
Okay.
That's where you should be trying to fall. You don't need all the high-end components and all the stuff you see me with. I didn't start with that. And sometimes just speaking of that, we're out riding and somebody comes flying past us. And so the group I'm in, there's always an individual in there that wants to take on that person who just flew past us. Because we have that competitive spirit.
That's what I was just thinking.
That's part of that sports thing on the inside of us. And I have to remind them, you don't know where they started.
Right.
We're 30 miles in.
Right.
And they just started.
Right.
And so sometimes what happens is people see me pull up in my high-end bikes, and I have a few of them now.
Okay.
And then they want to be right there. Well, it's not a wise idea to go out and your first bike costs you $6,000. Unless you have the means. If you have the means,
right,
make it happen.
Right.
But to spend $5,000 and $6,000 for a bike, and you don't even know if it's really what you want to do, is I think not responsible. So I think that $800 to $1,200 range is a good range. You get you're probably not going to get a carbon fiber bike. You're probably going to get a good aluminum bike.
Okay.
Right, not steel. Steel's a little bit too heavy, but aluminum bike.
Okay.
You're going to get decent components on it, which are the mechanisms that make it, the gearing. And then if you endure that, like I did, then you step up.
Right.
Okay, now let me go to a carbon fiber bike, road bike with, some people like straight bars because they're comfortable, local riding, and other people like drops like what I have when you start getting your speed up. So, the bikes can range. I mean, my buddies ride bikes that are $12,000 and $15,000.
I saw those $12,000 bikes this past weekend.
Oh yeah.
And I realized that was not my lane.
Not
at this time. Not at this time. But what's interesting is most bikes don't have foot brakes as well as the hand brakes. Are they all going just hand brake?
Yeah. It's all the road bikes in particular are just free wheel cycling, which is basically the brakes are either on the rim or on a disc.
Okay.
One of the two. And so most of the older bikes have the rim, what we call rim brakes, which are the old rim brakes that just squeeze up against the top of the rim.
Do it too hard in the front.
The newer bikes, the components have gotten a lot better. The newer bikes have the disc brakes. And for those of us like me who like to go fast, braking becomes a very important thing. The rim brakes take a little bit longer to slow down.
Right.
The disc brakes, obviously are quicker. So if you're climbing or going down hills, you want to have brakes that are going to stop you.
Absolutely.
Just in case. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I recently went riding with my kids and some other adults and near Cal State Long Beach.
Oh yeah.
And we encountered some hills and went off the concrete for a little while. And I remember my kids are riding down, everybody's riding down. We're going 40 miles an hour and my bike starts, and it's a little wet because it's been raining, and I said, I can't fall off my bike in front of all these people. I am too old for this.
It's embarrassing.
Oh man, so I was like, it's gotta stop. But they were all just, they were just rambunctious.
Hey, the kids, they mend a lot quicker than we do, right? We'll be in traction.
Lord, I don't want to fall.
We'll be in traction trying to figure it out.
Not like when I was a child.
No, and you know what? One thing a good friend of mine, Lester King, told me. He said, "Hey, man, know yourself.
Right.
Don't try a lot. Far too often we try and mimic what other people do to our own detriment.
Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to, if you're feeling rickety, I call it rickety, slow down. Yeah. You don't have to, you're going to meet up at some point.
I was in the back of the line. The procession was going, and I was, Dad, here I come.
Yeah. I
said, am I turning into my dad? What is going on here?
Yes, you are. That's a great commercial, by the way.
Oh, man. But I was happy I made it through and didn't,
Right.
And I was also winded. I was like, wow. I felt like I was working.
And that's the part now. I always reminisce with my buddy that I started riding with early on. I rode by myself for a while, because I was just embarrassed.
We want to get up to speed.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah, we want to be
good.
And
I said, you know what? So once I was able to ride a little bit, I'm riding with my buddy, and we reminisce on. We used to load our bikes up, go to the farm, and ride around the farm, and then load our bikes up, and then go home. And we thought we were doing something. And we thought, wow, we were celebrating, give each other high five. Look what we did. And now we ride to Santa Barbara.
Wow.
We rode from here to Santa Barbara. That's 100 miles straight.
Wow.
And then say, let's ride back.
Wow.
Amazing.
That
Only
is.
problem was it was night, so we had to get on the train.
Oh.
But you understand what a transformation that is, and it excites me because one of the things that I tell folks is I say, look, I talked about that, be true to yourself. If it's not biking, I love biking, I do.
Right.
But if it's roller skating,
right.
There's a whole, back in the day, we roller skated like crazy. So the World on Wheels.
Right, absolutely, yep.
And I go out to a lot of the bike paths and multi-opportunity paths, and people were roller skating again, blade skating, roller skating. Find that passion.
You forget, I had an experience at the beach and jumping in the waves 2 summers ago where I felt like I regained my inner child, that I remembered how much fun it was to be out there and to be a little reckless. And to be daring.
Absolutely.
And that made me feel so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I want to make sure that I keep pushing the envelope in all these different areas so that I can expand.
We were at Torrance Beach and all the surfboard guys were out there and stuff. And so me and a couple of buddies were on the bikes, of course. And we start talking about swimming. And I'm an avid swimmer, by the way, too, as well.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And so I used to swim all the way to the second buoy.
Right.
And the second buoy, the first buoy was just kind of the buoy where, you safe. The second buoy was like,
it takes some
you
cojones.
out with the big fish.
Yeah,
right?
man, you out there.
And I remember getting bumped, and I see this fin sticking up, and I think to myself, oh crap, I thought it was a shark.
Right.
I didn't know it was a school of dolphins. Scared the mess out of me.
I'm sure.
And I swim. I think I broke world records. Coming back from that second buoy back to the
You're
shore.
ready to get
and
back.
I got out and I'm breathing. And then everybody, the folks that were with me going, man, you had a school of dolphins out there. What? But you're right, that inner child.
Oh, yeah. Stay in touch with that inner child. You will be a happier person. You will live your good life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
And that's what we do here at Joe's. We live the good life.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I don't know how to end any better than that, but on behalf of RT and JS, we'll see you next time you're at DS. We want to thank Chris Jackson for joining us and spending some time with us here at the Stogie Shop. Thank all you guys for joining us. Chris, is there any information that you want to leave with the people? Programs to look up or?
Sure. I'd love for you go to the City of Inglewood website at cityofinglewood.org. You can go to Economic and Community Development. Peruse the entire site. Get familiar with the communities, particularly Inglewood. But you can go to Economic and Community Development Department, which is my department. I'm the director there. And look over planning, look over building, look at economic development, and there's a lot of good information. Make sure you take advantage of it. Be safe. Wear your mask.
Absolutely. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let people know about our channel. We'd love to see your feedback in terms of what you want to see in the future. We want to keep exciting guests in front of you and exciting things to talk about. So please give us your information so we can continue to craft this show for the community across the whole world now that we're on YouTube.
That's right.
Drove Stogies has gone global. So thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon.